Hello, welcome back to the Breaking News Update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you're watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out from Estonia to share with all of you, and we're going to talk about Alar Karis, who is the president of Estonia right there in the photo. And I have a new report that's just coming out today on your screen. Estonia's president signs law allowing Navy to sink ships deemed a threat. The Estonian president has approved a law allowing the military to attack civilian ships if their actions are seen as a threat to important facilities in the Baltic Republic. Okay, this is a very big report today, and this has been developing over the last week while I was on vacation. So I want to cover this whole story for you guys and talk more about this. As recently, over the past few months, we've been seeing what appears to be hybrid warfare attacks from Russia potentially. There's been underwater sea cables in the Baltic Sea that have been cut numerous times, and also lots of sabotage operations that have been carried out across Europe. And many European nations believe that Russia is behind a lot of these acts. So I'm going to talk some more about this and jump into an article here real quick. We're just going to briefly go over this. This is on United 24 Media. Estonia mulls law allowing military to sink suspicious ships threatening undersea infrastructure. Okay, if you notice here, the date was April 8th, 2025. So this was actually last Tuesday that this came out. And at the time I was on vacation, so I was not able to cover this for you guys, but this is when this did come out. And just right here, it says Estonia's parliament is preparing legislation that would authorize the country's defense forces to use military force against commercial vessels suspected of attempting to damage undersea cables or other critical infrastructure, Estonian media outlet ERR reported on April 7th. According to the report, in extreme cases, the military would have the right to sink a suspicious vessel if it refuses to comply with orders. Okay, so if any of these Shadow Fleet Russian oil tankers were, let's say, going through the Baltic Sea, and if the Estonian Navy were to locate this vessel and find out that maybe it had damaged a cable and they refused to comply for whatever reason, or if they deemed it as a major extreme case threat, they could potentially sink this ship, is what the parliament was shooting for there. So what we actually had happening was the following day, the Estonian parliament approved this bill, as you can see here on the Hindustan Times. Estonian MPs approved bill to boost maritime security. It was originally on AFP, and this came out a day later on April 9th. You can see here 2025. It says Estonia's parliament on Wednesday approved a bill meant to strengthen its maritime security by allowing the country's military to use force on any ship attacking vital naval sites or infrastructure. Okay, so you can see there they had approved that bill. And then finally, we had the Estonian president come out, and now he has officially approved this bill as well, and he has signed it. So here on Caliber, they have reported this as well. And it says right here, Estonia authorizes military to strike civilian vessels in maritime threat cases. This actually coming out today, April 14th, 2025. And it says right here, Estonian President Alar Karis has approved amendments to the laws on the organization of the defense forces and the economic zone, which grant the military the right to attack civilian vessels if their actions are seen as a threat to important objects of the Baltic Republic. The adopted amendments grant the Estonian Defense Forces the right to use force in the country's maritime zone in the event of threats against critical infrastructure, defense facilities, ports, and other structures, Caliber AZ reports, citing Estonian media outlets. This decision follows incidents involving damage to undersea infrastructure in the Baltic Sea, such as the December 2024 disruption of the S-Link 2 cable between Estonia and Finland, which was suspected to be caused by a foreign vessel. Under the proposed legal amendments, Estonian naval forces are required to first attempt communication with any suspicious vessel requesting a course change or docking. If the vessel does not comply and is deemed a threat, the use of force may be authorized by the Minister of Defense. Earlier, this law was adopted by members of the Riigikogu, if I'm saying that right, which is their parliament, aide to the president of the Russian Federation, chairman of the Maritime Board Nikolai Patrushev, called the Estonian law disgusting and pointed out the need to find a way to counter this initiative. Okay, so very big update coming out today from Estonia that technically they could attack any ship that they deem as a threat, that maybe if they're trying to destroy underwater sea cables in the Baltic Sea, which we have seen this happening multiple times over there. and to protect other Baltic nations around that area, which are all NATO members. They could definitely take a major step forward and maybe strike one of these ships that are attempting to destroy any critical infrastructure in the Baltic Sea or near that area. So this is a very big move by Estonia today, and it looks like their president has signed this law to allow their navy to strike these ships and destroy them and possibly even sink them if they are deemed an actual threat. Okay, so very big news coming out today. Just wanted to get you guys this information out there. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in for this update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.